Dust rained down. Where am I?
The room was unfamiliar, shrouded in a thick, unsettling silence. John stumbled to the window, pushing aside heavy curtains. The world outside mirrored the hollowness within him. Buildings, once proud giants, were now jagged teeth against the grey sky. Cars lay overturned, rusting hulks amidst the debris. A fine layer of dust covered everything, muffling the world in an eerie stillness. Panic welled, a choking tide in his throat. He had to find someone, anyone.
I need to find someone, anyone.
Each creaking step was a hammer blow against the oppressive silence. The front door hung open, a gaping maw swallowing the remnants of sunlight. John stepped out. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of decay and dust. It scratched at his throat, a silent scream trapped within the wasteland. He was alone, utterly alone. Days blurred into a nightmarish haze. John roamed the deserted streets, his voice raw from calling out, a futile plea swallowed by the emptiness.
Hello, is anyone there?
He visited homes, hoping against hope to find a sign of life, a flicker in the dead city's eyes. But there was nothing, just the silence. He found a phone, its plastic casing cracked and dusty. His fingers trembled as he dialed 999, the numbers a lifeline in a sea of despair. The only response was a monotonous drone, a flat line echoing the absence of life around him.
Please, anyone, pick up.
Hope, once a fragile flame, flickered and died. Despair settled in his gut, a leaden weight. He was adrift in a sea of silence, a solitary man in a world devoid of human connection. The city, once a symphony of noise and light, was now a tomb, and he, its sole mourner. Survival became his sole purpose. He scavenged for food, water, anything to keep the gnawing hunger at bay. Empty stores became his hunting grounds, their aisles littered with the remnants of a life he barely remembered.
Canned goods, bottled water, a lighter, small victories.
Each find was a small victory against the suffocating grip of despair. He found shelter in a small apartment, its door hanging precariously from its hinges. The air was thick with dust, the furniture coated in a layer of grime, but it was a roof over his head, a fragile barrier against the encroaching emptiness. Each night, he huddled in the darkness, listening to the wind whistling through the broken windows. The silence was no longer peaceful, but a constant reminder of his solitude. He dreamt of voices, of laughter, of the world that was. But dawn always brought the same desolate reality. He was alone. Weeks later, he stumbled upon a sign, Green Run, a town. Hope, dormant for so long, stirred within him. Maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone.
The journey was arduous, each step a testament to my dwindling strength. But the thought of another human being, of breaking free from the solitary confinement of my existence, spurred me on.
He reached Green Run as dusk painted the sky in hues of grey and purple. The town was eerily similar to the city he left behind, deserted, decaying, shrouded in silence. But as he rounded a corner, he saw it, smoke rising from a chimney in the distance. His heart hammered against his ribs, a drumbeat of hope in his chest. He wasn't alone.
I broke into a run, my legs heavy, my lungs burning. As I drew closer, I saw her, a woman, her back to me, tending a small fire.
Her name was Sarah. She had been surviving on her own for months, the weight of solitude a heavy cloak on her shoulders. John's arrival was a beacon of light in the darkness, a shared breath in the suffocating silence.
They were two souls adrift, clinging to each other for warmth in the face of the storm.
They pooled their resources, sharing stories of their past lives, their voices filling the silence that had become their constant companion. They worked together, clearing debris, fortifying their shelter, their combined strength a bulwark against the encroaching despair.
For a time there was a fragile hope. The world may have ended, but we had each other.
But as the days turned into weeks, a new weight settled upon them. The weight of their future, or rather, the lack of it. They were the last, the final page in humanity's story. They talked about the future, about rebuilding, about repopulating the world. But the words rang hollow, their dreams overshadowed by the stark reality of their situation.
We were two people, adrift in a sea of silence, our existence a fragile anomaly in a world that had moved on without us.
The realization hit them both at the same time, a chilling truth that settled over their fragile hope like a shroud. They could survive, perhaps for a while longer, clinging to each other in the vast emptiness, but they could not rebuild. They could not bring back what was lost.
The weight of it settled between us, a silent barrier. We were guardians of a dying flame, custodians of a legacy that would die with us.
The future, once a canvas of possibilities, was now a blank page. They lived for another year, a year of shared sunsets and whispered stories, of finding solace in each other's company. They built a life, or at least a semblance of one, amidst the ruins. But the world was a harsh mistress, and their time, like the last embers of a dying fire, was dwindling.
A sickness swept through Green Run, a silent, invisible predator. It ravaged our bodies, a cruel parody of the life we had tried to rebuild.
They lay together in the fading light, their hands clasped, their breaths growing shallow.
As John closed his eyes for the last time, he saw a flicker of movement in the doorway. A small, furry creature with bright, curious eyes.
Life, it seemed, would find a way. But it would be a different kind of life, one that would rise from the ashes of the old, a testament to resilience, to survival. And in the end, wasn't that all that mattered? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. More to come soon. I know you have heard this many times before, but if you feel like it, a subscription and a like would be most appreciated. Thanks again, and see you soon.